Hi guys, Aceface here, back with another video for you, and this is another 7th edition tips and tricks on how to get the best out of the new edition. And what I want to do today for you is I want to cover Super Heavies, Lords of War, and go over what I consider the top 5 units, and just a little bit about why I would take those units, and to try and hopefully give you guys that possibly have shied away from that part of the game, to give you some ways of getting them involved and putting them in your armies. Now, Super Heavies, very much a not a loved part of our game, let's say. I know that people are very against them, and I'm here to say embrace them, because they are a lot of fun, and they are actually quite good fun to play against. Believe it or not, particularly in 7th edition, they were a lot more balanced, they were a lot more justified their points, because in 6th edition there were certain units that, yeah, they were probably, well, they weren't probably, they were overpowered. Don't get me wrong, there were ways to play them, there were ways to deal with them, but they were overpowered. Now in 7th edition, even with the most disgusting units, possibly with the exception of one, which I'll come to later, they probably, well, they are now playable in all ways, and I wouldn't worry about them. And we need to embrace them as a community, in my opinion. It's just my opinion, because the models are awesome. And why not buy an expensive model from Forge World and now get the opportunity to play with it and to field it with the rest of your beautifully painted army. I mean, for me as a gamer, one of the biggest things that I didn't like was the fact that I don't like Apocalypse. I don't like the fact of having a car park of tanks and then just taking them off for the rest of the game. I like the fact of having one Super Heavy as a centrepiece in your army and being able to play still a relatively decent game. So for me, I mean, I think it's a great thing for the game, personally. But yeah, but what I want to say is definitely, if you have got Super Heavies or your mates have got Super Heavies, then give them a go, and you'll realise that actually they are a lot of fun to play with and they're not game breaking. But anyway, that's enough of my kind of ranting and preaching on Super Heavies. Let's go on to the top 5 Super Heavies to take in a reasonable sized game, 1500 points to 2000. Okay, so at number 5, the best units to take at number 5, I would say, are the Baneblade stroke, all different variants, Imperial Guard tank. Now the Baneblade as a platform is a great unit. It's very versatile because you can take it in all its different versions. The points may differ slightly, but actually they're pretty similar, around the sort of 500 to 600 max, I believe. And the Baneblade's great because it has quite a lot of weapons on it, and because it's a Super Heavy, it can fire them at a number of different targets. It'll have one main gun, and that main gun you can tailor to how you want. So if you want the D cannon as far as the Shadow Sword, you can go for that, or if you want something that's going to shoot a lot of shots, you can go for that, or if you want one that just does a massive big barrage, you can do that. But it's a very versatile tank. It doesn't suck up too many of your points. It's decent armour level, and it's a great centrepiece for an Imperial Guard or AM army. So definitely at number 5 I would take a Baneblade. At number 4 I would go for a Warhound Titan, and I've chosen a Warhound Titan over a Revenant Titan because of 7th edition. In 6th edition, the Revenant Titan wins hands down because it can take the pulsars, and the pulsars, yeah, they're the same as the Turbo Destroyer, but just the fact that it could jump around so manoeuvrable, and it had its hollow field, it had the edge. But now, the fact that with the Warhound you can give it different combinations of weapons, it makes it a more versatile choice for 7th edition. Yes, you can go all out with a D, but actually the better option is to maybe just take one D and then something else. It's better armoured than the Revenant Titan. It's still not as manoeuvrable, but it's pretty manoeuvrable. It has a higher armour, so it's going to be more versatile as far as being able to deal with the shooting, whereas the Revenant Titan had an ability of just getting annihilated through mass fire, potentially, if you got through its hollow fields. So I would say the Warhound Titan is a great one. It's very expensive, it will suck up a lot of your points, but it's an awesome model, and it definitely justifies its place at number 4. At number 3, the Eldar Lynx. Now the Eldar Lynx is the smallest of their super heavies. It is a little anti-grav tank, but it's still pretty big. It has a choice of 2 different weapons. It can take a Sonic Lance, which is a massive big flamer template, which is great at destroying vehicles, at taking out multiple amounts of troops. It's a great flamer. It's a really cool weapon, and one that you would never have seen in 6th edition, but now, because its second gun is the Pulsar, and that's a D weapon, and D is nowhere near as frightening as it used to be. I think the Sonic Laser is definitely Sonic Laser, might be Sonic Lance. Sonic Lance probably is just as good choice. But it's a great little vehicle. The one reason why it's great for a super heavy is it's not too many points, so it doesn't suck up all your points in your army. So you can still do all the stuff that you wanted to do in your Eldar army, but then you've got this super heavy which can really deal out the pain, which is great. It still has its hollow field, so it's it's a great unit and definitely worth including in an Eldar army, and it's cheaper than most of the other super heavies you can buy, so it doesn't break the bank anywhere near as much. So Eldar players, definitely get yourself a Lynx. Right, at number 2, and I struggle to say this always, but it's the Transcendent Satan. I think I got it right, from Necrons. Now this unit is awesome, absolutely awesome, and if you haven't seen, this guy is only little. He's only a little guy. You can take him in a massive big vault, but actually it's not the way to take him. The best way to take this unit is on his own. He is a powerhouse. I believe, I'm not really a Necron guy, and someone out there can correct me, but I think he's a little fragment or a piece of a god. So this guy means business. He's a tough cookie, but he's like you can absolutely kit him out however you want, so whatever style. But the favourite way to do it is very much to kit him out with a D Hellflamer, which is awesome because one of the bad things, well not bad things, but one of the changes in D is it doesn't ignore cover, but if you've got a flamer template then you ignore cover again, so the only thing they can save them is going to be invons, so that's ridiculously powerful. He's very fast moving, he can move over things and destroy them. He's a very, very good unit, and because he's small you can hide him. He's not that expensive, you'll get him for under 700 points easily, and he is devastating. So Necron players, get yourself a Satan. And at number one, now this guy kind of is a bit of a shame. Now I've got him because I'm a dirty and horrible player who you don't want to play. No, I'm only joking. This guy is pretty disgusting, and this is Asius, the Demon Lord of Zinc, the big greater demon Lord of War. He is 999 points, so he is by far the most expensive in my list of units, but this guy is immense, and I would say, please correct me if you think I'm wrong, but in 7th edition he is unkillable, more or less unkillable. And the reason why is because he's a flying gargantuous monstrous creature, so he has the same rules as a flying monstrous creature, so he ain't gonna get grounded. He has a 3+ invulnerable save because he's a demon of Zinc. He rerolls once. The fact that he's ridiculously high toughness, and he has loads of wounds, and he has feel no pain because he's a gargantuous monstrous creature, you are not going to kill him. He's great in combat. He has loads of psychic powers, so he can take demonology so he can spawn things, but also his shooting ability, not a psychic power, is he can also spawn horrors just by shooting as well. So realistically, this guy can quite confidently produce 2 new units of horrors every turn, on top of causing a load of other damage as well. So, he has just so many other abilities. I could do a video on him on his own, and I have taken this guy to a tournament in 6th edition, so I know how good he is. So please, if you want a video on this guy alone and how good he is, then let me know, because I can talk and talk and talk about him. But without a doubt, the most broken super heavy, and probably the one that is the exception to the rule of unplayable, is Asios, the Demon Prince of Zinc, at number 1. Right guys, so I hope you enjoyed that rundown of what I would consider the top 5 super heavies in the game at the moment. And as I said, there are better super heavies, but in a 1500 points to 2000 points, they're the best viable units to take. And if you've got other ideas of other units that you think are well worth taking in 1500 points to 2000 points, then please do put that in the comments below. And yeah, I very much know that I have not talked about Tyranid ones, and that's because I want to be fair and balanced and be realistic with you guys and let you know what is the most frightening super heavies and the most viable units out there. The Tyranid ones are good, but they're not in the top 5, and that's for sure. So I hope you enjoyed this video. There'll be more 7th edition videos to come, but for now, please do comment, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.